The story of the Brown family, as seen on the reality series Alaskan Bush People, has long attracted viewers because it blends survivalist imagery with modern celebrity culture. What began as a portrait of a family living in remote wilderness conditions gradually evolved into a complex media narrative shaped by fame, criticism, and personal struggles. The appeal of the show has always rested on contrast. A family portrayed as self-sufficient and isolated, yet simultaneously deeply embedded in the machinery of television production and public attention. Over time, this duality has fueled both admiration and skepticism. Fans often focus on the Browns' resilience, teamwork, and unconventional lifestyle, while critics question how closely the televised version matches reality. As with many long-running reality programs, the boundaries between lived experience and produced storytelling can become blurred. This tension sets the stage for ongoing discussions about authenticity, family dynamics, and the emotional cost of living under constant public observation. Against this backdrop, individual members of the family, including Noah Brown, have found their personal lives increasingly examined and debated online, often in ways that amplify private conflicts into public controversies. The rise of Alaskan Bush People and the Brown family identity. When Alaskan Bush People first premiered, it introduced viewers to a family presented as living off-grid in Alaska, building their lives around survival skills and isolation from modern society. The Brown family quickly became central figures in reality television discussions, with their lifestyle framed as both unconventional and inspiring. The show's early seasons emphasized wilderness survival, construction projects, hunting, and the challenges of adapting to harsh environments. This portrayal created a strong identity for the family, rugged, independent, and unified. Each member was assigned a role within the narrative, contributing to the collective image of resilience. Over time, however, the family's increasing visibility meant that their private lives became inseparable from their public personas. Relocations, health issues, and interpersonal conflicts were no longer private matters but storylines that unfolded in front of millions of viewers. As the series progressed, questions emerged about how much of the lifestyle was truly off-grid and how much was shaped by production needs. Regardless of the answers, the Brown family's identity had already become firmly linked to the idea of televised survivalism, making any personal dispute or transition feel larger than life. Noah Brown's early life and on-screen persona Noah Brown emerged within the show as one of the quieter, more introspective members of the family. Born into the Brown household and raised in the wilderness environment depicted on Alaskan Bush People, he was portrayed as someone deeply interested in building, engineering, and problem-solving. His on-screen personality often contrasted with more outspoken siblings, presenting him as thoughtful and methodical rather than impulsive. Viewers came to associate Noah with technical creativity and a calm demeanor during stressful situations. His contributions to homestead construction and mechanical projects were frequently highlighted, reinforcing the idea that he represented the practical, problem-solving side of the family's survival narrative. This made him a recognizable figure within the show's broader ensemble. However, as with many reality television personalities, the version of Noah seen on screen represents only a curated slice of his life. Behind the scenes, he has navigated the same pressures that affect many individuals raised in public-facing families: expectations, scrutiny, and the challenge of separating personal identity from televised character. Over time, these pressures became more visible as his adult life unfolded beyond the original wilderness setting. Marriage, relocation, and shifting family dynamics. As Noah Brown entered adulthood, his personal life began to shift away from the core wilderness narrative of Alaskan Bush People. He married Rain Alicia Brown, and together they moved toward a more settled lifestyle outside the original Alaskan setting. This transition marked a significant change, both for Noah individually and for the broader family storyline. Relocation brought new responsibilities, including raising children and adapting to life outside the remote environments that had defined much of the show's early identity. While the series continued to follow the family's journey, these changes reflected a broader evolution from survivalist imagery toward a more conventional domestic structure. Within the family dynamic, such transitions can create subtle tensions. Moving away from shared environments often alters communication patterns and emotional proximity. For a family whose identity had been built around collective survival, Geographic and lifestyle changes naturally influenced relationships. These shifts did not necessarily signal conflict, but they contributed to a more fragmented family structure compared to earlier seasons of unified on-screen collaboration. Family tensions and reported conflicts within the Brown household. Over the years, reports and online discussions have suggested that members of the Brown family have experienced periods of internal tension. In particular, Noah Brown's relationship with his sister Rain Brown has been the subject of public attention. Some accounts have described disagreements that escalated into serious allegations, including claims of harassment or emotional distress. It is important to note that many of these details exist primarily through public statements, social media commentary, or secondary reporting, rather than fully verified court findings. In situations involving reality television families, especially those from Alaskan Bush People, private disputes can quickly become amplified due to public visibility. Family conflict in such environments is often complicated by overlapping roles. Siblings are also public figures, and personal disagreements may be interpreted as entertainment narratives. This blending of private and public spheres can intensify misunderstandings and make resolution more difficult. While some claims have been made publicly, the full context of these interactions is often unclear, and interpretations vary widely depending on perspective. Legal disputes and the restraining order controversy. One of the most widely discussed developments involving Noah Brown and Rain Brown centered on reports of a restraining order filing in 2024. According to public accounts circulating online, Noah and his wife sought legal protection amid allegations of concerning behavior within the family. These claims reportedly included accusations of harassment and threatening conduct. However, legal outcomes in such cases depend heavily on evidence presented in court. In this instance, reports indicated that the request for a restraining order was not granted, with insufficient evidence cited as a key factor. This outcome did not necessarily resolve the underlying interpersonal tensions but instead left the situation publicly unresolved. Cases like this highlight the difficulty of navigating legal systems while also living under public scrutiny. When family disputes become public narratives, they often take on a life of their own, shaped by speculation and fragmented information. Within the context of Alaskan Bush People, such events are interpreted not only as personal matters but also as extensions of the show's long-running dramatic arc. Social media responses and competing narratives. Following reports of family conflict, social media became a central platform for competing narratives. Members of the Brown family, including Rain Brown, have at times used online platforms to share personal reflections, clarify their perspectives, or respond to public discussion. These posts often introduce additional layers of complexity as audiences interpret statements differently depending on their existing views. In some cases, social media responses have emphasized themes of misunderstanding, emotional struggle, and a desire for reconciliation. In others, they have highlighted frustration and disagreement over how events were portrayed externally. This duality is common in families with public-facing identities, where personal communication becomes part of a larger media ecosystem. For viewers of Alaskan Bush People, these online exchanges can feel like extensions of the show itself. However, unlike structured television storytelling, social media is fragmented, immediate, and often emotionally driven. This makes it difficult for audiences to form a complete or balanced understanding of events. Mental health, substance concerns, and public interpretation. Discussions surrounding the Brown family have occasionally included references to mental health challenges and substance-related struggles. These topics are sensitive and often difficult to verify from public information alone. In many cases, statements are made by individuals about themselves or others, but full clinical or legal context is not publicly available. Within reality television environments like Alaskan Bush People, personal struggles can become magnified due to exposure. Public audiences may interpret behavior through the lens of entertainment rather than private complexity, which can oversimplify or distort reality. Mental health challenges, when present, are deeply personal and should be understood within appropriate context, rather than reduced to narrative elements. The intersection of fame and personal difficulty often creates situations where private recovery processes are unintentionally made public. This can increase pressure on individuals already dealing with emotional or psychological stress. Reality television pressures and the burden of visibility. Life inside a long-running reality series like Alaskan Bush People comes with unique pressures. Participants are not only living their lives but also performing versions of them for audiences. Over time, this can blur boundaries between authentic behavior and constructed narrative. Cast members may experience ongoing scrutiny, where everyday actions are interpreted through the lens of character arcs or story development. This can affect relationships, decision-making, and even self-perception. For individuals like Noah Brown, who grew up within this environment, the distinction between private identity and public persona may be especially complex. The presence of cameras, production teams, and audience expectations can subtly shape how events unfold. Even without explicit scripting, awareness of being filmed can influence behavior. This dynamic is one of the central challenges of reality television as a genre. Authenticity debates surrounding Alaskan Bush People. Since its debut, Alaskan Bush People has faced ongoing debate regarding its authenticity. Critics have questioned how closely the show reflects the family's actual living conditions, pointing to evidence that some scenes may have been staged, assisted, or filmed in more accessible locations than initially implied. Supporters argue that, regardless of production influence, the emotional experiences and family relationships depicted remain genuine. This tension between literal authenticity and emotional truth is common in reality programming. Over time, audiences have become more aware of how editing, staging, and narrative construction shape what appears on screen. The Browns' portrayal as wilderness survivalists contributed significantly to early interest in the show. But as the series progressed, the distinction between performance and reality became a frequent topic of discussion. This has influenced how viewers interpret both family milestones and personal controversies. Production influence and storytelling in reality television production often involves shaping raw footage into coherent storylines. In the case of Alaskan Bush People, editing choices, scene selection, and narrative framing all contribute to how viewers perceive the Brown family's experiences. This does not necessarily mean events are fabricated, but rather that they are structured for narrative clarity and entertainment value. Emotional moments may be emphasized, while routine or uneventful periods receive less attention. Over time, this can create a heightened sense of drama compared to everyday life. For participants, this process can be challenging as private experiences become part of a public storyline. Disagreements, transitions, and personal struggles may be framed in ways that differ from how they are experienced internally. This gap between lived reality and televised representation is central to many of the debates surrounding the show. Public perception versus private reality. The gap between public perception and private reality is especially pronounced for families like the Browns. On-screen, they are presented as resilient and adventurous, while off-screen accounts suggest a more complex picture involving change, disagreement, and personal growth. Both perspectives can exist simultaneously without fully capturing the entire truth. In the context of Alaskan Bush People, viewers often form strong emotional connections to the family based on what they see on television. When real-life reports introduce contradictions, it can lead to confusion or reevaluation of earlier assumptions. However, public narratives rarely capture the full depth of private relationships. Families evolve over time, and their experiences cannot always be neatly categorized into simple storylines. This is particularly true when those families live under continuous observation. Conclusion on fame, family, and fragmented narratives. The story surrounding Noah Brown and the broader Brown family reflects the complex intersection of fame, family dynamics, and reality television storytelling. Through Alaskan Bush People, audiences have followed a version of their lives that blends survivalist imagery with personal development and conflict. As with many long-running reality series, the most visible moments are often only fragments of a much larger and more complicated reality. Legal disputes, social media statements, and public speculation contribute to a narrative that is constantly evolving and often incomplete. Ultimately, the Brown family's experience illustrates how reality television can amplify both connection and conflict. What viewers see is shaped by production, interpretation, and public discourse, while the full reality remains private and multifaceted.